Greetings. Muslim pilgrimage or the Hajj cancelled for 2020. Well, cancelled or being allowed to be conducted in very limited numbers. Not sure, but perhaps where there were going to be over 2 million Muslims from around the world, there will only be 1,000 or so this year. Whatever, same thing. It's cancelled for most Muslims around the world. For most Muslims around the world, Hajj is cancelled for 2020 at least. Now, this is such a cliche, and I'm not exactly comfortable going there, but ever heard about the signs of Qiyamah or Qayamat? That's for Muslims. And for Christians, it's what is referred to end times, or the Judgment Day, maybe even apocalypse, but apocalypse does not really mean end times. Apocalypse in Greek just means the revelation of truth, that, that the truth will be revealed. And yes, we are in those times as well, where the truth about everything is being revealed. It just depends on who's paying attention and who's not, and who's listening and who's not. And for Hindus, it is the time of the Kali Yuga in Hinduism. And no, it does not happen like it has been told in mainstream religions. It is not going to be the end of the world, but it is the end of an astrological age, which is the age of Pisces. So we are heading towards the end of the age of Pisces, which is an astrological age. And I have been receiving the message that we are in the end times, so we are in the times of Qiyamah or Qayamat for Muslims, and we are in the times of the Kali Yuga for Hindus, or in Hinduism. These times are referred to as the Kali Yuga, or the age of Kali, because Yuga means age, an astrological age. And we are probably at what is referred to as the tail end of the dragon, like we are probably at the tail end of it. But it's not gonna happen in one day, or it's not gonna be happening just for one day. No, that's not how it happens. So coming back to the Muslims, and the signs of Qiyamah or Qayamat, there was a massive sign from the universe last year, January 2019, when that locust attack on Kaaba, right on Kaaba, that locust attack in Kaaba happened. That was a massive sign from the universe, multiverse, cosmos, or call it God, whatever label you want to put on it. That was a massive sign for Muslims. And now this year, 2020, Hajj or pilgrimage gets cancelled. That is yet another massive sign from the cosmos, from the universe, from God for Muslims. But who's paying attention? Who's listening? Who's getting it? I was sitting in silence yesterday, and I was asking for inner guidance about this, and I was asking my higher self, my oversoul, archangels, ascended masters. I was asking for guidance on this, and you know what I was reminded of? I was reminded of that time when Prophet Muhammad went into that place and got rid of all the idols in there. And wasn't it the same place where Kaaba stands today? Now, there is a big clue in there for people who have the ability to reflect upon such things. Whatever happens in Kaaba, all the practices, all the rituals during the Hajj or the pilgrimage, and then on top of all the practices and all the rituals, at the end of it, the practice of animal sacrifice, which Muslims call the celebration of Eid al-Adha, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see how taking a life can be a celebration, and it doesn't matter if it's the life of an animal or if it's the life of a human. It's the same thing as far as I'm concerned, because just like we humans have a spirit, a soul, a ruh, or an atma within us, which is part of God, which is an extension of God, which, you know, what does that make us? And it is the same for the animals. The animals have within them the same spirit, the same soul, the same ruh, the same atma, the same source energy, the same God energy living and dwelling within them as well, just like humans. So what does that make the animals? The animals are also God. And I don't care if most people are going to listen to this and laugh at me and think I'm crazy. I don't care anymore, because I know what I'm talking about. And whoever does not know what I'm talking about, they are simply just not there, because they are simply just not ready to receive the truth of God. So as far as I'm concerned, when Muslims celebrate Eid al-Adha and they perform animal sacrifice, thinking and believing, like, you know, they're performing animal sacrifice in the name of God, thinking and believing that this is what God has commanded. No, this is not what God has commanded. So as far as I'm concerned, when Muslims perform animal sacrifice, they are killing God. The only problem is that they are not aware of it. And so, what's that saying? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Was that Jesus who said that? Who is Yeshua for Jews, Jesus for Christians, and Isa for Muslims, and whose ascended master name and his galactic name is Sananda or Sananda, however you want to pronounce it. Anyway, so the locust attack in Kaaba in 2019 was a massive sign from God. And this year again in 2020, Hajj being cancelled is yet another massive sign from God for the Islamic world, for the Muslims. Because whatever happens in Kaaba, all the practices, all the rituals, and then on top of it all, at the end of it, the animal sacrifice, all of it is at least questionable. And that's what God is asking Muslims to pay attention to by giving all these signs, by giving a massive sign last year in 2019, and now again in 2020, another sign by canceling the Hajj, or the Hajj being cancelled, is another sign. It's another massive sign for Muslims from God. God's asking, are you sure you want to continue to do this? Are you sure? Perhaps it's time you reflected upon what you are doing when it comes to the annual pilgrimage or the annual Hajj, and when it comes to all the practices and the rituals that you perform there, and when it also comes to the animal sacrifice that you perform at the end of it all. Are you sure you want to continue to do this? It's time that the Islamic world and the Muslims reflected upon what they are doing when it comes to the Hajj, when it comes to whatever they do in Kaaba, all the practices, all the rituals, and also when it comes to the animal sacrifice. It's time for the Muslim world to reflect upon all that. Greetings.